My name is Chirag, and I'm an alumnus of Manipal Institute of Technology. I graduated in 2014 with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and after 5 years of graduating, I visited the college again in December last year, and it was nice to look at the college again, KC, TC, Marina, looking at the professors. I would have loved to visit Malpe and Kapu and also Endpoint, but I didn't get the opportunity. So, after a talk with the professors, they advised me to make a video on my life and experiences at Manipal and what I learned from it. Uh, so that because we felt that could be useful for current students of MIT. So I was an academically bright student throughout my childhood. In the 10 board exams, I scored 92% in the ICSE boards, and it was a good there was nothing which said that I was stupid or that I didn't have an aptitude in studies. However, both my parents were working at that point, and like teenagers, can get distracted easily. So the next 2 years weren't great for me academically because I wasn't really focused on my academics. So in the 12th standard, I did not do well, scoring around 63% in the board exams. And also, I had to take a drop year before the engineering entrance exams. So I took a drop year and I studied for like some time. And then I got a good rank in Manipal Institute of Technology. And that's how I was part of this college. So again, there was a choice for me during the counseling to choose like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or even computer science. In hindsight, I should have chosen computer science because my background was always in mathematics and statistics and also in coding. However, due to peer pressure or after my uncle being a mechanical engineer and also like some of my friends at my best friends at that point of time had taken mechanical engineering, and also with Manipal being known for mechanical engineering, I decided to take mechanical engineering as my major. So obviously, at the age of 18 or 19, it's easy to get distracted from the path of studies, and that's what happened to me because I found mechanical engineering difficult because I was more of a numbers guy rather than a manufacturing guy. So I really hated working with the lathes and the shapers and the planers and also welding and smithy and foundry. So yeah, and I wasn't great at mugging up. I was good at understanding things and applying things practically through the use of numbers, of course. So yeah, I struggled my way through mechanical engineering. In the first year, after the second year, I still remember in 2010, I failed a year by just 3 credits. So that was one of the worst experiences of my life because I was so close to passing and making the grade, but because of 3 credits, I failed in my second year. And like everybody said at the end, and my uncle literally told my mother that you should take Chirag out of school because he probably doesn't have what it takes to study and to succeed in academics and in life. But my parents believed in me and gave me another chance. They said that, okay, you can take the year again and let's see what happens. We won't take you out of school yet. So I took the year again, and I decided that even though I may not like mechanical engineering, even though I may not have the background or what it takes to succeed, I will spend some time. I will do the minimum required to at least pass the courses and get academic credit for it, even though I may not like it. So then the process began of slight change. So every semester I would clear all the courses, and my GPA wasn't great. It kept improving every semester because I was clearing more courses, and I was clearing the backlogs as well. So it was never above seven. It was never above seven at any point, but at least I wasn't getting any backlogs. So that was some improvement. But the real change for me happened in 2013 when I took the GRE exam after 2 months after about 1.5 months of preparation. and I scored 323 with 5.01 analytical writing, which was a percentile of 93% globally at that point. So that gave me confidence that if you work hard, you can achieve results. I mean, if you work hard and if you're talented in that particular field, you can achieve results. So that was my experience with GRE, and that was also the final year. I mean, I entered fourth year at that point, and there were placements. Of course, I was not allowed to sit in many of the placements because of my GPA being in the 6 point range. So, however, there was one company, there were a couple of companies which I could sit in, like Honda and then Think and Learn. So, Byju's. So, like in Byju's, I got through all the rounds and there was the final interview. So the first question the Byju's interview asked me was that why is your GPA so low, and why should I hire you? So I basically told him that, like marks is not the ultimate guarantee of success, or marks, you cannot measure a person based on marks, but you should look at the entire package, what a person has to offer apart from just marks, you know. And then he also asked me how, like, sell this pen to me and what makes this pen different from any other pen I could find. So then, like, I mean, I gave him some answer which convinced him that okay, he's got, this boy has got some fire in him, and so he gave me an internship offer. So that single internship offer really was very important for me because it was the first interview of my life, and I cracked it. So this proved that despite probably being with lower CADs or BATs or whatever, having tough situations, it is possible to make it, you know. And it was a tough time for me as well, even in my personal life. Like, my father was suffering from depression for 3 years. I had lost my grandparents. My grandmother died with a coma. I mean, she was in a coma for 6 months, and then she passed away. So these were tough times, and I couldn't go to the funeral because I was busy with my back exams. So these things, they happen, and it's what you learn from life that helps you succeed. So I was in Bangalore enjoying my internship, and it was a great internship at Byju's. I was in the marketing team and also in the content development. So I would spend half my time marketing the app. I mean, the Byju's had a tablet at that point, not the app. So I would basically call up customers and tell them how good the Byju's tablet was and how they could use that to help them prepare better for IAS or CAT or GMAT. You know, so I was enjoying my time, and then in March, I remember in March 2014, I went to Manipal to submit my midterm report for the practice school, okay, which I was doing at Byju's. So I met a friend of mine in the 10th block in the hostel, and I told him that I had my GRE, I'd given the GRE last year, but I'm still not sure which major I should go for. So that's why I'm thinking of applying maybe a year later. So he said, no, you should apply right now. But I said, most colleges, they have closed their application deadlines already. He said, no, but like there are also some colleges that are still open and have their application deadlines open. So you should apply right now and you should not delay the process. If you like, and at that point in Byju's, I also did a project using operations research in which I used the Hungarian algorithm to allocate, students to centers, like different centers of Byju's, and like how we could optimally like assign students to centers. So like based on that and based on the fundamentals of operations research, which I had taken in my undergrad in my seventh semester, I decided to go for operations research as my master's. So I said, okay. I listened to my friend, and I was sure that operations research was something which would work for me because it was quantitative. It was something which I loved. I loved numbers. I loved statistics. I loved algorithms. So it was a chance for me to excel in a field that I always knew I was good at in school. So then I went to Mumbai for a few days. I wrote my statement of purpose in just about half a day. And then I got the letters of recommendation from three amazing professors in the mechanical engineering department at Manipal. And I submitted my application package, and I'd applied to seven universities. So by the 15th of April, I had applied to all seven universities, and I still remember. So, like, I went back to like Byju's, to continue my internship, daring to hope that something good may happen. You know, so on 16th April, I got my first rejection. It was from Sunny Buffalo, and like I asked them why I got rejected. So they said because you don't have good academic record. So that was depressing, really, and I was in a low mood. And on 22nd April, I got the second rejection from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So that was one of my top universities for statistics and operations research. So I was even more dejected, and then I was so depressed that like the next day I was told my boss at Byju's that I need some time off because I have been rejected by two schools that I applied for. So he was very nice and considerate enough to understand what I was going through, and he said, "Okay, you can take the evening off, Chirag." So I still remember that time. So I went to my apartment in Bangalore, you know, and I just was on the bed and I was depressed. I was not able to get off the bed. Then I went to the restroom, and when I came back, there were two missed calls from my dad on my phone. So when I called him up, he said that Northeastern University has admitted you. Oh, the feeling of pride, the feeling of happiness, the feeling of relief which I got was amazing. Here was a university, a top 50 ranked US university, which was willing to invest in me, and me, a failure, someone who had failed a year in mechanical engineering, whose GPA was just 6.16, someone who was written off by family, by friends, by all his peers. A US university was willing to invest in me, to believe that I could make something of my life. And that was when it changed. I got the visa interview cleared. I got the visa. I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I went to the US, and that was the time when my life started changing for the better. I started believing in myself again. The same Chirag who was in 2006, 92% graduate, the same person was, again getting reflected, or I mean, he was brought back in 2014. So I knew that I must excel because this was a great opportunity for me and I shouldn't mess it up. So then I went to US, I went to Boston. It's a great city, great architecture, great Irish architecture. And the school was Northeastern, and the course was so interesting and so exciting. And yeah, I spent a couple of semesters there, and then I applied to Stanford University for their summer session in statistics because I wanted to learn more about data mining and programming in R, and statistical learning algorithms. So I went to Stanford University in the summer from June to August, and that was a magical summer. Stanford University, I think, is the greatest university in the world, and its campus is amazing. The level of teaching is amazing. The kind of friends I made there was amazing. And I learned so much. I learned the basics of machine learning and data mining at Stanford, and that was when I joined Smiley Go, which was a startup in the Bay Area, which was basically into machine learning and data science applied towards corporate social responsibility. So my job there was to build a machine learning algorithm to help corporations donate efficiently to nonprofits. So basically, the algorithm was a probabilistic model which would rank the nonprofit based on its financial, governance, and social impact ratios. So I spent 6 months there, 3 months on co-op and 3 months as a volunteer intern. So having garnered that experience, I returned to Northeastern to finish my final 2 semesters. And in that time, I pursued my master's thesis again on the time series forecasting and data mining of tornado events in the United States, where I researched on how I could predict various aspects of a tornado event, the property damage in dollars due to a tornado event as a function of the path length and the path width of the tornado event. And also I would predict the location of strike, like the latitude and longitude at which a tornado would strike. So I had applied to a variety of companies for a full-time job offer, and one of those companies was Aon, which is the world's leading brokerage. And they were interested in my work research, and they set up an interview for me, an on-site interview. So that was a very crucial moment of my life, because I knew that as an international student in the US, the number of interviews that I get are going to be rare. So I have to make it count. I have to make it worth it. So then I went to the interview, and it was an 8 hour long interview. There were 10 people who interviewed me, senior level, from the head of analytics of America at Aon Benfield to also the head of research and development at Impact Forecasting. And in that 8 hour interview, with 10 people, I was quizzed thoroughly about my knowledge of machine learning algorithms and also about my prior experience. And I did my best. And then I heard back from them two months later with a full time offer as an analyst analytics at Impact Forecasting, which is the Catastrophe Model Development Center of Excellence at Aon. So here was someone who had failed in mechanical engineering, whose GPA was below 7 overall, and whose peers had just, let him go or just ignored him and written him off, said that this guy, nothing can happen for this guy. So he had gotten a job offer from one of the best companies in the world, like a Fortune 500 company. And it was in research and development and with some of the best people, highly qualified people working there, because the department usually hires PhDs in industrial engineering, mechanical engineering. There were only 2 master's graduates hired in the department, and I was one of them. So, so then I graduated with my master's degree in operations research with a good GPA for once. Basically it was a 3.632 or something out of 4, and the grades were good, so I was happy. And more than the grades, I was happy with what I had learned. So then I spent 3 years at Aon, learning and growing and working on some really interesting projects like probabilistic modeling projects, predictive modeling projects, building machine learning models for hurricanes, basically building a k-nearest neighbor algorithm for hurricane track and central pressure simulation, building a multiple linear regression model for also for radius to maximum wind speed and maximum wind speed of a hurricane event, predicting thunderstorm magnitude using using the ridge regression lasso, also generalized additive models, and also feed-forward neural networks in R. So like in this time at Aon, I have gained a lot of experience programming in R, which is a very powerful statistical language, and it's great for data visualization and analysis. So 3 years passed that way, and it was in 2019 that I decided that I want to go for a career in data science. I want to become a data scientist, because data scientists are the ones who are statisticians as well as computer scientists, as in they combine mathematics and programming to predict the future and to also generate inferences from data. So it was the career which I felt would be great for me. So I was considering programs like master's programs. Like, since I was on the H-1B visa, the work visa, I knew that an on-campus program wouldn't be good for me because I didn't want to lose my visa status. So therefore, I applied to Georgia Tech, which was like, I think it's ranked number 8 in the world currently for statistics and operations research by QS World University Rankings, and the program is very rigorous, and it teaches you great programming skills and ability in R, Python, SQL, Hadoop, Spark, and even Tableau and many other languages. And you need to. It's perfect for working professionals. So I applied with the same process: the letter of recommendation, the transcripts, GRE score, Yeah, I mean, and then a few months later, just 10 days before my birthday in October, I got an email saying that I've been accepted to the program. So that was when I realized my dream of studying in a top institution, which was Georgia Tech. So from a guy who was good at studies in school to someone who did badly in the 12th and who failed in undergraduate, in mechanical engineering, to again the curve goes up to someone who's doing good right now in his life and also someone who is a success and has successfully gained admission to one of the top ranked or elite schools in statistics and operations research. So like what I have learned from my life, or like what the lesson that I've learned, one thing is that hard work is certainly very important for success, and you should always pursue your passion. If you're passionate about anything, you must pursue it, because that is one thing in which you have your abilities and you can excel. And another thing is that you should not give up. Like, suppose you're stuck in a tough situation and you're failing, then you must look at what you learn from that failure rather than giving up and saying nothing can happen, because life is fluid. Times can always change. Good times come, good times go. Bad times come, bad times go. But opportunities, they don't come knocking twice. So whenever you get an opportunity, just go for it, you know. And the most important thing would be to believe in yourself, because like attitude is everything. If you believe that you can do something, you're closer to actually achieving it, rather than someone who says, "No, I give up. I can't do it." So self-belief and self-confidence are very important, and resilience is also very important. Like no matter what life throws at you, if you keep fighting and if you say no, I'm going to look you in the eye and I'm not going to give up, then you will definitely succeed. So yeah, it was my like intention to give back to Manipal, because that was the place where I learned that failure is not the end of the world. That you that life can be tough, but if you keep struggling, then at the end the journey will be worth it. So I encourage the current Manipal students to reach out to me if they have any questions regarding the application process for master's programs in the US, and also like in the interview process for like interviewing for jobs. Like I can help with resumes, LinkedIn profiles, networking, because networking is also very important. Because like I've gained this knowledge and experience in the last 5 years after leaving MIT, and I feel that like there are always people who are struggling, who are having tough time. So I don't want them to give up, because life is crucial. Because like there are always going to be challenges in life, and depression happens. Like I agree that even I went through depression, and suicidal thoughts keep coming and going sometimes for those who are very depressed. But but it's a process. Like things do get better with time, and it's not something that can happen in a second or a minute, but it's like small efforts in the right direction every day, or can actually help in transforming the whole situation in your favor. So I wish all of you the best of luck in this coronavirus situation. I hope everyone stays at home, stays safe, and yeah, keep working towards your goals. And at the same time, don't take life too seriously. Okay, take a break, hang out with friends, wearing your mask, of course, virtually whenever you can. And yeah, cheers. Wish you all the best. Take care. Bye.